Thank you for joining me again. Today I'd like to talk about Satan. I'd like to talk about evil. I'd like to talk about Lucifer. And I'd like to open this video by asking the question, do people still believe that evil exists? Does evil exist? The reason why I ask this question is because it's not really a theme that comes up, in society, is it? When was the last time you even heard the name Lucifer? Or when was the last time you heard Satan? I guess the last time that I have heard the name Lucifer was, during the that series on Netflix, Lucifer. So it's not really a common everyday thing, the topic of evil and the devil. But I believe that the devil is very much real, even though we're not talking about the devil and we're not talking about evil on a day-to-day basis. I believe that society has moved on from that basic concept of good and evil. We still believe that there is good. We still believe that there is evil, but we don't really focus on sin and evil as being this controlling thing. We're not too concerned with sin and evil. It's not something that's always on the front of our minds. Our lives are so complex and complicated these days that we're just trying to make it through the day, through the week. Funnily enough, the greatest weapon that the devil uses against us is making us unaware that he actually exists, is making us so melancholy, making us so lukewarm, making us so, basically making us not care about anything. The secular world in which we live in today has basically made all of us not really care too much about anything at all. We're just trying to get through the day-to-day mundane. We're just trying to get through the routines of our life. When it comes to religion, when it comes to spiritual things, often today religion and spiritual things are something that are not at the front of our day-to-day living. It's something that I guess we will put off until we are closer to the grave, so to speak. It's not something that we think we should be concerned about today, but rather it's something for old people to be concerned about. And so we don't spend this time in prayer. We don't spend this time with our Lord, thanking our Lord for the many blessings that he has granted us, our children, our husbands, our wife, the roof over our head, our job, our income, the holidays that we are so fortunate and blessed to enjoy with our family, with our friends. And so the greatest weapon that the devil has is this veil that is placed over each and every one of us, making us unaware that he actually exists. This veil that makes us so melancholy, so lukewarm, so so unemotional. We're not hot, we're not cold, we're a knife, but we're so blunt we can't even cut through butter. And how do we become sharp? How do we become, zealous? How do we become passionate, for God? How do we become passionate for Jesus? How do we become emotional beings? How do we become these people who will set everything on fire with the Spirit of God? How will we make a difference in the world? How will we bring God's kingdom to this world, this physical world? And when we turn to Christ in prayer, we are discouraged to enter into a more deeper relationship with our Lord, because this weapon that Satan has over us makes us feel that we're not worthy, we're not much loved by our Lord. We feel that Jesus Christ does not deeply love us. We feel that Jesus Christ does not deeply want us, want each and every one of us. And so we don't give ourselves to him. But this feeling that we have does not come from God, but this feeling that we have is the devil's greatest weapon over us. And if only we could see our Lord, then we would know the love that he has for each and every one of us. If only we could see our Lord, then we would pray on bended knee multiple times, as often as we possibly and physically could and can. And so it's a catch-22. We don't pray because we can't see our Lord. We're not aware of our Lord's love for us. Yet if we do pray, we become aware of our Lord and we experience our Lord's love for us. And if we were to make prayer a daily thing in our lives, then we would become transformed. And we would start to do something, not just for ourselves, not just for our immediate family, but for everyone around us, for society,